We're entering the home stretch of the 2019 Algolympics, and event number 11 is one of the greatest high-flying, chaotic events that the Algolympics just wouldn't be complete without. This is Professor CC19, and welcome to event 11 of the 2019 Summer Marble Algolympics, the hurdles. This is one of the classic events, event number 8 in the 2018 games. Only a couple changes made for 2019, and they are both to make this event better. Number one, since we do not have a time limit on these videos, we can see the full races as they play out. So we don't have to cut things short and go based on how far, how fast, like we did in BMX cycling also last year. We can see the full races play out and the positions each team earns. And in correspondence to that, there are no longer consolation races, so for the teams that do not advance through to the final, the bottom 8 positions will go on time, as we've seen in a lot of the other events so far this year, such as rock climbing and Plinko. Anyway, there's also something important to get to in regards to the Black Knights, and if you'll recall, after event number 10, Shadow, their second in the lineup, was injured again after his original injury in BMX cycling, then participating in the classic race. And the Black Knights were consulting with their alternate marble, Bleak, to compete on the team. And the decision has been made in between these events that Bleak will in fact come to replace Shadow for the rest of the 2019 season. So Shadow will be present at the closing ceremony, but he will not be competing in any other physical events this year. We will see Bleak competing as an individual marble if he has to, but we will for sure see him competing with the rest of the Black Knights in our team event, event number 13, Team Pursuit.
But in the meantime, we're going to turn our attention back to this event and take a quick look at the course for hurdles. It's the same course and the same format, mostly, as 2018. First, I'd recommend that you watch that video, Event 8 of the 2018 Algolympics. But same style, 2 groups of 8, the top 4 in each group will advance through to the final. The course consists of 5 compartments, each with hurdles varying in size. The marbles are trying to bounce on the trampolines up and over into the next compartment. The roofing panels are there to help them, but some are angled differently than others and placed farther back to make it more difficult. The highest physical hurdle is in the 3rd section, but the most difficult, because of the spinner, is in the 4th section. The first 4 to touch the green teleporter on the far right will finish the course and advance through to the final, while the bottom 4 are going for their best possible time to at least salvage some good points in the bottom half. The top spot in the bottom half still gets 7 points. The 8 teams running here in Heat A are Grayscales with Art, Strawberry Streamers with Mainstream, Ultraviolets with Violet, they are probably the team that has been training hardest for this course, Fireballs with their team captain Fire, Gold Globes with their team captain Glitter, Azure Royals with Duke, Jack's Jokers with Parody, and Team Neon with their team captain O. Alright, all our teams are in the starting gates, ready to get things underway in Event 11, and we're going to get things started in Heat A in 3, 2, 1, go! Alright, like I said a moment ago, Ultraviolets have really been training hard on trampolines. They were hoping to put that training to good use in our last event, where there was a trampoline near the end of the classic race, but they had a lot of problems colliding with other teams, in particular Yellowfellas. Ultraviolets are thankful that Yellowfellas have not been placed in the same heat with them in this event. Yellowfellas is a team that loves to use brute force in events like this. Most of the stars of this event, and of the games so far this year, are going to be featured in Heat B, actually. Brute Force Yellowfellas, the gold medalists in the Hurdles 2018, Team Transparent, and our championship leaders, O-Raiders, are all in Heat B. We'll see them in a couple minutes. So far in Heat A, we have Fireballs, last year's champions, leading the way, currently sitting in 3rd in the overall standings. Then the team right behind them in the overall standings, Azure Royals, in a close 2nd. We have our rookie team trying to come up through the works into 4th, along with Jack's Jokers in the top 3. Now this is the highest physical hurdle here, right before the spinner. And the spinner can be brutal. If you have the timing off, it can just hit you time and time again. And also the 4th hurdle, because of the positioning of the roofing panels, it is a very difficult hurdle to make it over if you get too close to the wall. Looks like Azure Royals makes it over quickly. Fireball's taking a little bit more time, and they're going to get bounced back. We also have Jack's Jokers in this section, along with Ultraviolets trying to put their training to good use. Fireballs have finally made it over. Ultraviolets bouncing back big time. Jack's Jokers still yet to make it. And Gold Globes, our rookie team, into the final section. It looks like those top three are almost guaranteed to advance. And there, the spinner is starting its work, hitting Jack's Jokers and Ultraviolets. Which team will it work out for, though? It looks like Ultraviolets. Now, a moment ago, I thought to myself those top three spots were guaranteed, but really they're not. The top three collided, and it puts Strawberry Streamers into the mix. Ultraviolets, after all that, is going to wind up winning in Heat A, with Gold Globes coming in second. Question is, who's going to get third and fourth? Strawberry Streamers get very close, but then they bounce back. This is a crazy race. Azure Royals also close. Here come the Grayscales. Who is going to get this? Grayscales, they're going to have to take an extra bounce, but it is not going to matter. Grayscale is going to fill the fourth and final spot in the next round. Fireballs, Strawberry Streamers, Jack's Jokers, and Team Neon are going to be eliminated. This looks to be another very poor performance for Jack's Jokers. I've noticed that this year there have been a bunch of teams that have been finishing in last in several different events. Black Knights have finished last place 3 times. Jack's Jokers have finished in last twice. And remember, those bottom spots are based off of time, so if Jack's Jokers doesn't get a move on here, and some of the other teams in Heat B start to struggle, they could be looking at last place for a third time. Fireballs are going to probably get 9th and 7 points, considering they've just barely missed out by a couple seconds to Grayscales. Team Neon going to come in 7th, ahead of Jack's Jokers for the second year in a row. Alright, just waiting for the final team to come across the line, then we will analyze the footage, and then compare the times here for the bottom 4 to the bottom 4 in Heat B. With Jack's Jokers finishing, we can move on to Heat B. A quick recap: Ultraviolets, Gold Globes, Azure Royals, and Grayscales are the teams moving on to the final. And now for Heat B. Shade, who is now third in the lineup for the Black Knights with the presence of Bleak, T-Blue of Team Transparent, Peppermint of the Mintergreens, Voyager of the Crimson Crusaders, Speedy Marble and Star Marble on the ball of our championship leaders O-Raiders, also Speedy Marble, Lightning of the Mystic Twisters, along with team captains Fella and Frost for Yellowfellas and Icers. And it's time to find out who our other 4 finalists will be. In 3, 2, 1, go. Now, Jack's Jokers are going to be watching this heat. They're going to be watching this heat carefully. They're going to be hoping that the teams here will struggle and put up slow times, so Jack's Jokers can at least earn some points in this event. They do not want to come in last place again, but neither do any other of these teams. Especially Mintergreens. Mintergreens knows last place. They sunk to last place after Event 3 in the overall standings, and they've pretty much stayed there the entire time. They have 46 points, even after a 5th place finish in our last event, which was their best so far this year. But yeah, Mintergreens, needless to say, have not been doing very well otherwise. Right now in this event, with Peppermint, they're actually doing quite well. Running in the lead, they're going to try and avoid that spinner. They're also trying to avoid getting passed by some of the other teams. Frost of the Icers, the team captain, in the rivalry with Fireballs, it looks like at this point they are going to crush them. Remember, Fireballs did not advance. They came in 5th in Heat A. And at this point, it looks like Frost of the Icers is going to win in Heat B. Peppermint of the Mintergreens in a position to come in 2nd place. So the most interesting battles are probably going to be for the bottom spots, or at least that 4th spot of advancing. Yellowfellas currently sitting in 3rd place, a very clear position. Black Knights and O-Raiders very close in position also. Watching out for T-Blue coming from behind. Now here comes Mystic Twisters. Yellowfellas very close to advancing, and now they have. So we're down to our last spot. And at this point, it doesn't look to be a very close race. It was a few moments ago between O-Raiders and Black Knights. But now here comes Black Knights back into the picture, trying to make it closer. But an odd bounce And at this point, it does not look good for them. Mystic Twister's, in fact, passing, but it's not going to matter. Raiders are into the final along with Mintergreens, Icers, Yellowfellas. Well, those are the other three. Mystic Twisters at this point coming in 5th place. We will have to look at the times. I know that was definitely faster than Jack's Jokers. Here comes T-Blue, 6th. Black Knights with Shade. They're not going to come in last. That's good. And we're going to have to watch for Crimson Crusaders, because Voyager seems to be hung up in this section. There they go, up and over. They're going to try and beat Jack's Jokers for the time. At this point, I think it's going to be pretty close. I think Crimson Crusaders might have a slight edge when it comes to time, but we're going to have to analyze the footage to see. Let's see, rebounding off that ledge backwards a little bit. That's not going to help them. And up again. Crimson Crusaders taking their sweet time. It's not what you want, but they have finally finished. Alright, so the 4 out of this group are Mintergreens, Icers, Yellowfellas, and Raiders. Mystic Twisters scoring best out of those that did not advance. We'll have to compare their time to Fireballs to see who gets 7 points, and compare all the other teams, all the other times back to see the bottom spots be filled. But now it's time for us to turn our attention through to the final, our top 8 teams competing for the podium. And now we're set for the final. Raiders, Azure Royals, Icers, Ultraviolets, Grayscales, Yellowfellas, Gold Globes, and Mintergreens. Who will get gold in the Hurdles 2019? It's time to find out in 3, 2, 1, go! Now we have some surprises among our group of finalists. Mintergreens, Icers, and Yellowfellas are the bottom 3 in the overall standings, but they all advanced through to the final in this event. Mintergreens actually did it with the fastest time of anyone. However, it is our Group A winner, Ultraviolets, followed by Icers, second in Group B, first into the second section. Grayscales trying to make it up and over after barely advancing out of Group A. Azure Royals also getting flung backwards. Mintergreens bouncing up and down. They're struggling to get their momentum going, as Ultraviolets and Icers are the only 2 teams that have actually had any success so far here in the final. We have Art of the Grayscales finally over, then On the Ball and Duke, Raiders and Azure Royals. Yellowfellas, who love to thrive on contact, they aren't really getting much of an opportunity to do so. They're still stuck back in the first section. Icers in the 4th section, the most difficult with that spinner, getting caught up with that spinner briefly, and then Ultraviolets doing so also. We'll see if there can be any contact between the 2 of them, or will the spinner be the dominant factor in that section? Looks like it has been so far. No contact between the 2 of them, but now both of them into the final section. This is going to be an out-and-out battle, and Icers, with some speed down the end, are going to claim gold. Icers are your gold medalists in the Hurdles 2019, and look at this, Raiders out of nowhere into the final section. But they're getting some weird bounces. That's actually going to push them back. Well, they're still in the final section, but now they are farther back as Ultraviolets is claiming the silver. What a battle between the 2 of them. Icers and Ultraviolets have been the top 2 for most of this race, and it came down to the final section. Icers proved to be victorious here. Looks like Yellowfellas has made up some ground, but it's going to be Grayscales to finish off our podium. For the 2nd year in a row, in fact, Grayscales claiming 3rd in this event, so they're very consistent. Azure Royals getting 4th place, yet again a podium miss. It's still good points. It actually might put them back on top of the overall standings. Actually, no, considering Raiders finishing right behind them, that is not going to happen. Azure Royals get 4th, Raiders 5th, Yellowfellas and Mintergreens still in this section. Who is left? Gold Globes way back there. Yellowfellas going to get 6th. That is 1 spot worse than last year where they got 5th. But now comes the battle of who is going to fill 7th place. Will it be Mintergreens or Gold Globes? Mintergreens could really use the points more, but Gold Globes, I have a feeling, is probably more of a fan favorite. They're first into the final section, at least first of those 2 teams. Mintergreens trying to get a better bounce to make up some ground, and this actually might be the closest race we've seen. Icers with their speed towards the end, catching Ultraviolets off guard. That was incredible. I've never seen that much speed in the final section. And this is going to be close. Who can get that final position? And by a matter of about a second, it is going to go to Gold Globes. All right, we have our final results. Even though Mintergreens had the fastest time in the first round, apparently they used up all their energy and had nothing left for the final. Gold Globes just beating them out. They will get 9 points. Mintergreens 8. Yellowfellas get 10. O-Raiders 11. Azure Royals 12. Grayscales bronze and 15. Ultraviolets 20 for the silver, their third medal this year. And Icers, this is their second gold. They're sitting in 15th, so that should help them in the overall standings. They will get 25 points. Congratulations to the Icers, our gold medalists in the hurdles. Now, so to save time in the overall standings and event standings, specifically event standings, I can tell you that even though Fireballs got 5th in Group A, the time was actually only good enough for them to get 12th in this event, because most of the Group B teams were much faster. Mystic Twisters, Team Transparent, and Black Knights, 5th, 6th, and 7th in Group B, all finished faster than Fireballs did. So Mystic Twisters get 9th, Team Transparent gets 10th, and Black Knights 11th. Fireballs 12th, Strawberry Streamers behind them in 13th, they'll get 3 points. Then we have Crimson Crusaders with 2, Team Neon with 1, and the curse of the odd number events is continuing. Jack's Jokers in events 7, 9, and now 11 getting last place. So with that said, we do not have to spend a lot of time looking at the event standings. We just have to award the teams their medals, and then we can get directly to the overall standings. All right, here is our podium from Event 11 Hurdles. And it's very similar to the podium from event number 6, the team race, with Icers claiming gold and Ultraviolet silver, but we also have Grayscales on this podium for the second year in a row claiming bronze in the hurdles, and their second bronze medal this year. In the meantime, you can see all the way down through of what I just recapped a few moments ago. Azure Royals just missing the podium. They only have 1 medal so far this year, but for only having 1 medal, they have a spectacular number of points, and it just proves how important consistency is in these games. 12 points added to their total would bring them up to 113. We'll have to see. O-Raiders, Yellowfellas, Gold Globes, and Mintergreens are your other finalists. Then, based on time in the bottom half, Mystic Twisters, Team Transparent, Black Knights, Fireballs, Strawberry Streamers, Crimson Crusaders, Team Neon, and the curse of the odd number events continues. Jack's Jokers, 0 points in Event 7, 0 points in Event 9, and 0 points in Event 11. Now we turn our attention through to the overall standings. And here are the updated overall standings. O-Raiders able to keep their lead for 2 events now, with their collection of 4 different medals and 117 points. But now Azure Royals is their closest competitor, jumping up 2 spots back into second with 113. Like I said earlier, consistency is so key. You can see the difference. Azure Royals, 113 points with only 1 gold. And way down here, Icers, only 84 points and 2 gold. But that is still a good distinction for the Icers, becoming only the 3rd team to earn 2 gold medals in 1 season. Fireball sitting in 3rd place with 107, Team Neon 106, Grayscales 104, Ultraviolets with their silver matching a lot of other teams with a gold and 2 silver. They jump back up to the top half, up 6 spots back into 6th with 103, Gold Globes 101, and Crimson Crusaders still in the top half at 100. It's a clear distinction. Everybody at or above 100 is in the top half. Then we go to the bottom half. Black Knights at 95, tied with Strawberry Streamers. Another tie right behind them, Team Transparent and Mystic Twisters tied at 93. Icers up 2 spots to 13th with 84. Yellowfellas staying stationary at 80. And Jack's Jokers is down 2 spots at 74 still. They cannot shake that curse. The next odd number event is Team Pursuit 13, unlucky 13, so Jack's Jokers is going to need something special to happen. And in the meantime, Mintergreens, even with some top half finishes, is not getting enough points to make up ground on anybody else, still in a distant last place, 16th and only 54 points. Now, the worst score after 12 events was last year Strawberry Streamers and 64 points. So if Mintergreens get higher than 10 in our next event, they at least will not have that dubious distinction. But right now, it looks like Mintergreens do not have much of a chance of winning these games with only 3 events left. And the next event, event number 12, which is coming out soon, is Elimination Basketball, another classic event from last year. Alright, that is it for the hurdles. If you found this event entertaining and you'd like to see the rest of the Algolympics, please subscribe. If you have any comments about this course, the races, or you want to predict who will win, the finish is only 3 events away, leave your comments below. I love reading through them. And as always, thank you so much for watching. One final thing, if you noticed some larger pauses in between with a clicking sound, that is actually a glitch in my recording program. For some odd reason, you have to click twice or sometimes 3 times to get it to stop in between the recordings. So that is that issue if you were wondering why that was a little bit different. Either way, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to tune in to event number 12, Elimination Basketball.